Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and today I thought I would do my January faves and flops. Now I have so many things that were purchased this past month or sent to me that I'm actually dividing it into two. I'm doing the first one, all my drugstore faves and flops, and the second one are my high-end and online faves and flops. So, excuse the red nose, I'm still battling a cold. I have my Lucy mug of coffee here, and I have my Kleenex with the lotion in them. They're great for your nose, but don't wipe your glasses with them or they smear them. And I have some concealer to touch up in between because it gets pretty bad. Anyway, I hope all of you are doing well and don't have to deal with the flu because it's really awful. Anyway, let's start right away. I have a lot of things. The first thing is an unusual thing I found in Marshall's, and it is the Venus Waterless Shaver. This is odd creature. I wanted to take it on a getaway that we had, and basically you just pull off the top here, a sponge, and there's hook in here. You squeeze the hook up through the sponge and just kind of roll that over your leg or wherever you're shaving, and then you turn it over and you shave. And it's got a comb and a very sharp razor in there. And oh my goodness, it dries too on its own. It's a waterless shaver. I've never seen anything like it. It works really well. I totally recommend it if you're going on a vacation or anything like that. It's really cool. Make sure you put the stopper in, or the stuff that's in this little container will get all over. So I thought that was really neat. And they come two in a package for $4, but it's really kind of a single-use thing. You know, you do your legs, arms, or whatever once, you're pretty much done. But I think it's great for a vacation, a getaway, and they come in a 2-pack for $4 at Marshall's. It was just an odd thing. I don't normally talk about hygiene products, but I thought that was really cool. LOReal came out with a new duo-sided mascara. And if you remember the Unique system, you had one which put fibers on your eyes, and then you put another one which had the mascara on. It was a two-step thing. Well, this is a two-step thing built into one wand. Because both sides looked exactly the same, I put a piece of tape on step one. So step one has the blue tape on it, and I think it's a great way to know the difference between the two because you can't otherwise except the wand. What I like about this particular fiber and mascara product is the fiber's in a black gel. So it doesn't seem to fall around like a lot of fiber extension lashes type things do. And the black formula I love because it blends into your lashes better. For some reason it doesn't seem to fluff around, and you know, you see fuzzies in the air when you're doing it. You turn around for step 2, and that's your mascara wand. It has a different shape, and the mascara is a nice, I think it's their Voluminous formula. It works really good. I think it's really nice. I think it's a little cumbersome doing both of the steps, but it does make nice big lash. It doesn't flake. It doesn't fall at the end of the day. And I think as far as these kind of things go, this is a pretty good one. So the Voluminous X Fiber. So, and just, you know, take my tip with, you know, putting tape or some kind of maybe a nail polish or something like that on there so that you know which end is step 1. So step 1 is the fibers, step 2 is the mascara. And you can do a couple of coats, you can get really big honking lashes. I generally don't care for those kind of fibery things because I always get them in my eye, and people who have contacts complain about that as well. I think that it actually worked really well. So, and I'm not a huge fan of LOReal, as you know. We had a fail. This is the Hard Candy Mattifying Pore Primer Stick. This goes on kind of smeary. It feels cool on the skin. I thought this was going to be great, but none of my foundations would roll over this nicely. I had a hard time. I don't think any of my foundations worked with this. I tried, yeah, at least 4 of them. This is called Stick It to Pores. So I didn't think it worked, and it actually did not really stick it to my pores either. I could see very, very defined pores in both my nose and my chin, and this is pre-cold. So, a fail, hard candy. CATRICE, Prime and Fine. I was told that Tarte had the 360 face primer, and I think it's Angie, Hot and Flashy's favorite, or maybe it was Marnie, Ms. Goldberg, I'm not sure. Somebody said that the Tarte primer in the jar was their favorite. Well, this is CATRICE's version of that, and side by side you can't tell the difference. It's a beautiful light silicone-y facial primer. Your foundations will go over really nice over the top. This is a smoothing refiner, so slightly different formulation from the liquid one, but I like both of the primers. You know, the beautifying one is in that kind of light pink container. It works really well. Yeah, I like to put it in the Pinocchio lines and around my nose where the skin's a little rough, and also up in this area where I have a lot of frown lines and things. You know, turning 60. I can't say I've had too many Holy Grails lately. This is phenomenal, and it's such an odd thing. Ulta Beauty, this is the brow tint. It's a tiny little brush with brow stuff on it. This is perfect for over 40 folks. You know what it's like to get white hairs and gray hairs in your brows. I mean, it's just, it's like it's a reminder right there on your face that you're changing, you know. This is the Ulta brow tint, and I believe this is the blonde shade. It's absolutely beautiful on. It covers all of those white hairs and gray hairs, so you don't have to pluck them anymore. And I know many of you do that. You see one and like, oh, you know, because they're always the biggest ones and they're sticking out funny or whatever. Just use some of this stuff over the top, and I'm sure the darker shades are wonderful as well. I love this brow tint. This is a holy grail. I'm gonna get a backup of this. It's wonderful. I found this in Marshall's, and this is, I'm always looking at little gadgets and things in there. Now this is a special kind of round brush. They call it a foundation brush. It has its own little case, which I think is cute. And then it's got this very dense brush that's round, and you're supposed to use it to, you know, swirl in your foundation or swirl in your face stuff. I think it's a Po Man's Clarisonic. Just do the redneck Clarisonic. It's so dense and so stiff that it actually it didn't work. It didn't make the foundation go in very well. I think it was a great idea, but it went amok, and that's probably why it's wound up in Marshall's. Yeah, it's called the Circle Stamp. Circle Stamp makeup brush, save your money. Every year I buy these, and every year I say, why did I buy this? And every year it says new, and it's still the same thing. It is chapsticks with a tint in it, and I never like it. It never works for me. And there's always like that grunge that goes to the corner of your mouth. It just, no, it didn't work. JORDANA released these face and lip sticks that are a color. This is a really pretty blush, and it shears out nicely. It actually looks really good. I set it over the top with a light powder blush, and it gives a nice base that wears down slowly during the day. It does wear out. If you just have it on its own, it does wear out with your facial oils or just from swishing your hand or your hair hits it or whatever. But it's really nice, and they have a nice color assortment. I just saw they had a display in Walgreens. I love this. This is the Wet n Wild Cushion foundation. I found a color that worked for me, Cream Ivory They tend to go a little bit on the warm yellow side with Wet n Wild. I don't know why that is, but this is the 107A color. And the thing with cushion foundations is, to me, I always wonder if they just put some regular foundation in a different vessel. You only get half the amount. You only get like a ½ ounce. And so for that reason, it's more expensive than like a regular foundation. You do get a nice little spongy thing here, and it's not bad applying it with this. I think applying it with either a brush or a beauty blender is fine. And I will just put some on. This goes on very, very smooth, serum-y like, and I think it has pretty good coverage, about medium coverage, but it lasts all day, and you have to make sure this is tightly closed afterwards, or you're going to have a problem of it drying out on you. There's just not enough product in here for me to say this is the perfect thing. I just think cushion foundations, this vessel of distribution, is silly. It's just silly. Why don't they just put this in a bottle and let us put it on a normal way? I just think it's kind of gimmicky to me. But it works really well. I like the coverage. I like the feel. It didn't really settle. I mean, after I put makeup on and put it on, I always have to go back and pat in all around the lines and little doodads and dings and under my eye. I always have to pat it down. I do have to set with a little bit of powder. Same thing with this, but it felt like a high quality product, and I think that was a good job on Wet n Wild's part. I like when something that's cheap works really well, and this works like a high-end product. ALMAY disappointed me with this, and I bought this because somebody else said it was good. I think it was Frugalista. She's a YouTuber. I get a kick out. I get a good sense of humor, a strong personality. She talked about this ALMAY, and this is the Instant Glow. It's a two-sided highlighter. One side is a stick highlighter, and the other side is a liquid highlighter of the same color. Don't ask me why. I didn't like either one of them. I just thought it was a double fail. I mean, how do you fail on both products? I felt like I wasted my money. I don't know what she saw in this. Maybe the novelty of the fact that half of it was liquid and half was stick. Blended together, they're okay. I just didn't see and I think it was more expensive than regular like highlighters at the drugstore. So I don't recommend the ALMAY at all. Rimmel did a lightweight version. It's called Lasting Finish 24-Hour Breathable, and it is different than their regular Lasting Finish makeup. God, they've got one of those mutant doe foot applicators to apply the product with, which I hate. It's like those Mercurechromes when you're a little kid and your mom put Mercurochrome on your boo-boo, then she put the thing back into the bottle. That's how I feel about this. I'd much rather put this on something that, I don't know, it's almost like I want to paint it onto the brush and then paint it onto me. This worked really well. It works just as well as the old Lasting Finish, but it has a fast dry down, really fast dry down. So when you do this little swipey thing on your face, thusly, you best get in there right away and blend that sucker out. It dries down really fast. It does last really well. I like it. I've always liked Lasting Finish anyway. I'm not sure what's so breathable about the formula, but the new applicator, only a slight improvement over not having any applicator at all. Remember you had the bottle, you had to scrape it out with one of those little teeny spatula things. And they only had like one shade for white girls, and then they had one shade for darker girls and 2 shades for real dark girls, and you know, that shade thing. I don't even want to go there. I like this. I thought it worked really well, and good price. I just saw it at Walgreens and picked it up. Maybelline Superstay. I was surprised by this because I'm not really a Maybelline makeup gal, but this went on really well. I sure wish they would change their colors a little bit because they need a few more. This is a medium to full coverage foundation, 120, Classic Ivory, and this is the full coverage. It says it's full coverage, and I sure believe them. You get kind of a waxy mannequin look with this, which is really good for pictures or, you know, if you're waving from a train. But if somebody's going to be right up in your face talking to you, you're going to have to work with this with other products so that it's not quite so thick. On older skin, from a distance, you look flawless. You get up close, you can see all the cracks in your skin. So I'm mixed on this. I think it's nice. I think that I would probably half and half it maybe with a tinted moisturizer or something else, but I don't think I could take it full strength. As a dry skin person, a full strength, full on coverage foundation doesn't work over time. Initially it looks beautiful, it looks perfect, but over time you start to get the wear down and the cracks, and it goes into the lines, and it does that. I mean, so I think that breaking it down with something else and then powder setting it makes it a really good foundation. So I think I'm really impressed with the foundations that came out in the drugstore this past couple of months. This one was the NEUTROGENA Hydra Boost foundation. They just took the cue from Rimmel, and let me just, do I have any arm left to put this, and they did this mutant size doe foot applicator also. That must be a thing in the factories. They're going, oh, new doe foot applicator, let's put it in all foundations. Very, very nice. Again, very similar to the Rimmel. It lasted okay. I think this is the one that came apart at lunchtime. It kind of faded out at lunchtime. I like Neutrogena. I know that they're formulated for folks who have sensitive skin. And I did a special on Neutrogena, so I studied up on, you know, who started it and why and how and all that. And they've got some admirable products in their line. I do like some of their lip products too. So I do like this. It's not Holy Grail or anything like that, but I think all three of these are probably even Steven Cross. So Neutrogena, the Hydra Boost, I do like it, even for dry skin. Revlon put out Color Change lip powder. I'm such a sap for these things, and I'm like, oh, it's new. Look at this, you know, and it's like, it's I'm not sure how to describe this other than I wasted my money. I'm not sure what they're supposed to do because they don't really, they kind of mattify and mess up your lipstick. I don't see, and this gold one is outrageous. It's outrageous. I put this on first. I tried it first. In fact, I'll do it right now. How unattractive can that be? I mean, it just, now I'm going to have to put the red over the top of that to try to cover it up. It's so patchy, dry, awful. Who thought of this? They left this out of the factory. Somebody's job should be on the line for this one. This is, I feel so duped, you know? This was a big fail, a big fail. I don't like this lip powder stuff at all. And it didn't work. Not only didn't work, but it messed up my lipstick. And it felt awful. And I'm not sure how we're supposed to apply it. You try it with a brush, then the brush is screwed up. You mess up your lipstick. And on its own, it doesn't look good. So that was a total fail. Eek. Concealer, the CoverGirl. This is the Vitalist Healthy Concealer. I've tried it a few times. It's very, you know, touche éclat kind of a thing. That kind of a... It's really not bad. I don't think there was a lot of coverage. If you have dark circles, I don't think you're going to be happy with this. It performed as far as not, you know, falling into the wrinkles. I don't want to put that red under my eyes. I can't use my ring finger because it's got red powder on it. It gave me that lacy look underneath my eyes, and I hate that with concealer, because when you have dry skin, for some reason you get that kind of lace pattern. Some concealers work with it really well and others do not, and this one unfortunately gave me the lacy look, so it's a fail for me, but it may work for somebody with oily skin. There are a lot of good mascaras too. I was surprised at, this is another mascara that came out. This is the Total Temptation mascara from Maybelline. This is in conjunction with their new line that came out. I also bought their eye palette. I like this. I thought it worked really well. Total Temptation. You curl your lashes, you put this puppy on. It's a huge, big, old wand. I thought it gave me instant large lashes, and I like that. I thought it was great. You do get crispies from it, though, you know, and you know what I mean if you use mascara and you get crispies. But it worked really well. So, yeah, I like this. So if it's on sale or something, Total Temptation, I don't see the reason to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on mascara, because it's the toilet paper in the makeup world. It goes bad. You don't want to get eye infections. Also, Rimmel put out this really interesting, this is the Magnif'eyes Color Edition Rimmel eye palette. It has some great, interesting colors. Yeah. The only thing I have to say is that I didn't realize they were all going to be pretty much satins, and just a few of the darker shades were going to be mattes. I thought for some reason I was misled to think that this crease color shade was a matte, and they're not. They're all kind of satiny except for a couple of the darker shades. But as, you know, having a green for St. Patty's Day, you know, they're very, very pigmented. I thought it was a nice assortment of colors for the price. I think it was like $9.99 or something. Really, really good color assortment. You can't do a whole eye look from it, but you can do really nice accents and color bars and things like that. A little bit of white. You can also use some of these for shimmers, highlights. So I think it's a really nice assortment, and they were nicely pigmented. They did last, and I like that. So, this is the Total Temptation eyeshadow and highlight palette that came out in the series, and I believe there's 2 sets of colors, but this one didn't seem to have a name or anything to it to make it different from the other one. There's a slightly purpley highlighter, slightly golden highlighter. You do have 8 shades here. You can use this as a crease color. You can. It's a slight satin sheen to it, but it's enough matte that you can get away with, you know, doing that crease color. And you've got this beautiful golden, and it's subtle, it's not Tin Man. And you've got this beautiful purple. I'll put it on this side. If you like the cool tone kind of wintry look. There's a nice assortment of shades here, and I think you can do a variety of looks with this. And you've got this dark that you can mix in, you know, in the corners and stuff to accent. I think it's a really nice palette, and I was surprised at nice pigmentation. And I did like 2 main eye looks with it, which is good for me, because I usually am not that inventive with these kind of things. But I thought it was really good, and I think the highlights are a really nice accent, because you can also use those as eyeshadows as well. So the Total Temptation eye palette, I definitely do recommend that. I think it was a lot of fun. Rimmel also put out, and you can see I've been using this. This is their Breathable Lasting Finish Concealer. I hated the head to this thing. Ugh. You pull off the cap, and it's a round, I don't even know how to describe it. Stuff kind of spits out of the top, obscenely so. I put it on my hand like this, and then I use a little brush and put it on my eye. You cannot take that rollerball thing and roll it all over your eyes and have it work. It doesn't work. Put it on your hand first, and then use a brush, and you can dip it in. And it works slightly better than the CoverGirl. Didn't get as much coverage, and I don't know if that's the breathable part, but I just didn't get the coverage I wanted. Of course, now that I'm saying that, it's all kinds of coverage here going on under my eye. I'm in the last stages of my cold, so it's like, ugh. Okay, it is sort of a glowy finish. You do need to powder it down to settle it down. Works really nicely, though. I'm very impressed, and as you saw, I've used most of the tube. There's not a lot in there. So I like this. I don't want to give a mixed message here. I like the Rimmel Breathable Concealer, but it didn't have a whole lot of coverage. Okay, so if you got really dark circles under your eyes, this may not be your puppy. This is the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Sculpt and Set. And this is I was disappointed in this applicator. They did the thing from, like, you know, Jane Ireland has the eyeliners that you put them in here, and then it's the cover. They copied that design and did it with this, but it's all wonky. It's loose. It's wonky. So you dip it into here, and it's just like the Anastasia brow gel. It's okay. This applicator's wonky. It's shaky. So when you start to put it, it moves. You know, it jitters around. And I think if you use your own applicator, it's better than this. And also, again, hygienically, putting this back into here till next time. I would have to wash that. You know, I just don't like the design of that. I think it's nice that they want to include a brush with it, but I don't think that was the way to do it, especially since it's so loose and wonky. So that is the CoverGirl Brow, Easy Breezy Brow. So, not bad, and the color wasn't bad either. This is the blonde, soft blonde it's called. It's not a yellow blonde, it's more of a ashy blonde color. And I like that. It was a natural looking brow. So still not as good as the Ulta Beauty brow tint. I still think that's my #1 brow thing. So this is good. Not bad. Because Flower is now being sold at Ulta, everybody's going nuts over it. And I remember when it was being sold at Walmart, I think mine never even replenished theirs. They just let it go because people didn't care. And there were a couple people like that Zoom mascara that twisted around, changed its shape. And it got terrible stars because the actual formula isn't all that great. I like some of the lipsticks. They seem to be popular, and the blushes are pretty. This is a lipstick that I picked up in Autumn Rose. It does have a good lasting power. Oops. It just blends in with the rest of the red under there. Number 50 Autumn Rose. Not bad. It's a demi matte. It's not a real flat matte, you know, that shows all the cracks in your lips. It's more of a creamy matte shade. So I do like the lipsticks very much. I think I'm going to look at other colors. Online, it's hard to tell the colors of lipsticks. I mean, if you saw this online, you would never think that this was the same thing. And on, it looks even darker. So I was a little disappointed that I picked such a dark color because I'm not a dark color kind of gal. Rimmel also had these, and they're very interesting. They are Wonder Ombre holographic eyeliners. And this one, I picked this one because I thought it was interesting. One side is your color. Let me just... And this is kind of a dark purpley color. And then you go over it with another color, and it changes it. You see what it did? And on its own, the color is sort of a light whitish pinkish color, so it's done this kind of purpley thing to it. It's just lightened it up a little bit. So I'm not sure, it's kind of a gimmicky thing. This is an awful pretty one. They had a green one, a purple one. a grayish one. I don't know. I like it. I think it's an interesting concept, but I mean, you're still winding up with this color, so it's, to me, it would have been easier to just put this color as the color. But, you know, they made this like fun, like a toy. So, so the Rimmel colors, kind of interesting. I was watching, I think her name is Bela. This isn't the Beauty on the Budget Bela. This is another Bela. This is an American younger gal. She put this Maybelline number 545 Beige Babe as her #1 lipstick of the year for 2017. So I was intrigued by that. It's the matte formula, and I hate matte lipsticks. I'm just going to show you here what it looks like. And she said that it looks especially good with NYX's Sweetheart over the top. And when she put that on there, it looked like a high-end Tom Ford combination. It was absolutely beautiful. So I'm really pleased with this combination. I think it's very, very nice. I forgot about NYX, you know, their lip glosses, how nice they are. And I never would have bought this on my own because I'm trying to get away from that nude thing, because I think we all were doing the nude thing, like stuck in the 90s. But this is very pretty combination. So thank you, Bela. I'll put her name above because I don't want to not put her name, you know. I mentioned this before in my Dollar General haul. This is the Baby Pop lip gloss from LA Colors. Oh my gosh, this is a lipstick. It's a liquid lipstick that rivals high end. I love this. It looks nice, it lasts a while, and it's 50 cents. 50 cents. This is LOReal, their new line. These are the Balms, I believe. This is Coral Rich Shine, number 916, Luminous Coral. It has a fancy looking container. It goes on really, really nice. Very pretty color. My complaint about this is there's a little nib here on the base, and you can see it there, and you have to match that with the indent here, or you can't close the container. And I'm so clumsy and fast. I just want to just do things and go, and that takes too much. You know, I'd be like, oh, you know, that's a design fault. So you have to put it in that where it won't close. The packaging is pretty. So that is my drugstore faves and fails for January of 2018. I hope everybody's having a safe and healthy month this month, February. And it's Groundhog Day, isn't it? It's Groundhog Day. So I'll do my second video in the same outfit. How's that? It'll be like a Groundhog Day thing for you. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. So I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles. I look like a mad scientist with these glasses on. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Now I'll wash this off.